Well, let's crawl the dungeon again. I decided not to do it as random this time. I tried to do this yesterday and my power went out. Of course it did. But so many of the manga were 65 boring pages. So I decided to curate it just a little. So I looked at the random ones and picked a couple. We picked some out. And I even found two that are a good example of the same kind of story. So, in fact, let's start with this first. All right, we have Yuki no Michi and Project Shade. Ooh, oh gosh, back to the beginning. As I looked through the random selections, I found these two that actually are trying to do the same thing, and one does it really well, and one does it really poorly, and ended up really boring. So, the premise of both is basically humans who fight monsters. The one on the left is supposed to lean a little bit more towards I want to be a monster slayer, and the one on the right is more straight up the monster slayers. In fact, let's see if it will let us. Let's view the details first. So first, Yuki no Michi. In this land, humans and yokai coexist in a fragile balance. This balance is kept by hunters. Yuki is determined to become one, but soon she will learn that life does not favor everyone equally. Will she become the strongest hunter, or will she perish to the overwhelming strength of the yokais? First off, this is not a one-shot, it is a series. But even with a first chapter, you need to convince me, or as the reader, or indeed the judges, to read on to the next chapter. Can it do it? Which will happen first? Yuki becoming a hunter, or us getting bored and quitting? Project Shade. Oh, Monotone Ink. Okay, I wondered why it looked like Monotone Ink. Exactly who it's by. Let's see. Few details. Under the surface of everyday life, an illness ravages all of mankind. All of humankind. Let's view the details. And don't forget, I believe Monotone Ink went through the silent manga audition masterclass. So in one way, it's an unfair comparison, but in the other way, it's a good comparison. So it can see the difference of more experience and some teaching. So anyway, under the surface of everyday life, an illness ravages all of humankind, turning everyday people into wild, mindless beasts. To counter this, venators take to the streets and clean out the vermin under the cover of night. Kafka Ikari, definitely Japanese and definitely an intellectual, a young man who can't remember his past, is one of the many of these hunters. However, after a near-death experience, Kafka finds himself pulled into a conspiracy deeply rooted in his lost memories, one that could forever shift the fate of humanity itself. So this one's about the hunter being a hunter rather than wanting to be a hunter. But for our purposes, looking at the way they achieved these goals, the creators, the way they achieved. They're slightly different in the way one is about someone wanting to be a hunter, and the other one is about the hunter themselves. But for our purposes, it doesn't really, that difference doesn't really matter. We're more interested in how they get their story across, and if it's interesting enough to keep us reading, which is the most important part, really. So, let's see. How do they introduce us to their worlds? No, I don't want to read. Close this. Okay. This one has a bit of a cover. Monotone didn't bother with the cover, or does the front page didn't have a cover? Okay. So, get out of here. Get out of here, author. Interesting that they both start similarly with a bit of action. So for Project Shade, for the longest time, humanity has been afflicted with a curse that strips us of our dignity, turning us into the wildest of beasts. As murderous, blasphemous creatures filled the streets, certain individuals stepped up to claim them. Whew. Where's the other one? In this world, humans and wild yokai coexist in a fragile balance. I find it interesting that one has given us a lot more visual text in a weird way. It tells us a lot more about these monsters than Yuki no Michi does. And Monotone has actually shown us the monsters clearly, as you'll see. And Yuki no Michi doesn't. We just get a sword clash that could be any shonen, really. So really important. Your first page is your introduction, is our introduction to your story. Some manga live or die on the first page, so you gotta get it right. You gotta give us an immediate impression. This is what our story is about. Once upon a time, there were yokai and humans, something like that, but not in this literal. So anyway, look, they're slightly showing the chaos in the streets. And just in 2 panels. It's not dragged out over 10 panel or 10 pages. It's just in 1 page. We see the monster, a human turning into a monster, and then the monster's ravaging the streets. Very cleanly thought out. And here, oh yeah, I looked at this yesterday. I can't tell if this is like, if she's looking over a balcony, or if this is the artist being cheeky and having her look through the panel. Either way, it's not working. And this sword, let me get my mouse in the right monitor. This, get out of the way. This right here, you don't want things touching, you know, overlap or get it farther away. Don't. This is really too weird. This just doesn't work in 3D world, so don't do this. Unless, of course, the sword is resting on the balcony that she's looking over, and then, I don't know. Anyway, page 2. I think this is a spread. Split your spreads. And if it's not a spread, it should be. Make it a spread, split it into 2 pages, and upload it that way. This could have been page 1. We saw the monsters appearing through a portal for some reason. Anyway, over here, Monotone is showing us who the story is about. The protectors of humanity, the ones with the metal to end this plague. A little bit of Attack on Titan vibes, but not in a bad way. Let's keep going. Don't remember how long these are. 58 pages, 62 pages. Oh lord, you better get a drink and get some popcorn. Like, if you're with me for the long haul, all of these one-shots are like 60-something pages. And that's not always a good thing, as you will see. Brevity is a weapon we should all learn to wield. Anyway, okay. So on page 5, so by page 5, we're finally introduced what turns out to be our main character. We only know this because of the cover, in my estimation. Okay, page 2. Hey, look at the spread. Up over a little bit. Hey, me, get out of the way. This should have been a spread. Split your spreads, upload them separately so we can enjoy them. And look, now they're showing the monsters. They should have shown this on page 1. Really give us a sense of what you're going for, or what we're in for. Something about a portal. Okay, this should have been page 1. This Monotone got for us. Venators. These are the hunters, like the protectors of humanity, the ones with the metal to end this plague. A little bit of Attack on Titan, but not in a bad way. Though, if only they'd known. That's great. That gives us a little nugget of, oh, there's more to this. There's been some effort to do that here as well with the portals. Let me know in the comments which made you more curious. The portals or this little, if only they'd known. No, I'm curious. Let's move on. Let's move on. How futile it would all be. Okay. Even in those attacks, I was never afraid. I knew they would protect me. I missed this the first couple of times I read it. Yesterday. Before my power went out. And as such, I wanted to be like them. I wanted to protect others. Just a side note, you don't need to stack your text like this. The more stacked your text, the more exhausting it ends up being to read. Because you have to go line, 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 line. So, you can condense this a bit, make it into a diamond. Anyway, she wants to protect others. Will we see how she gets to do this? Act 1, a stranger, an incomprehensible stranger, a stranger full of secrets. Some would decide no longer human. I too am an intellectual. That's my honest opinion when I read that. Anyway, along with the name Kafka. Already the visual interest. Look at this. You got action. You just scroll down a bit. Okay. We've got this weird, gross monster disease down here battling with someone in an alleyway. Oh god, stay home. On this side, I guess our little girl is starting at a dojo. I myself took martial arts for several years. Click like down below if you have too. And there are far more exciting ways to show a dojo than this. Than coming onto the mat, bowing, and whatever. And in my opinion, this guy is kind of a villain. So already, I'm slowing down on this one. Slowing down on this. Everyone welcome her. You have to become hunters first, I guess, at the dojo. Whereas this one, we're straight into why this disease is a threat. Or attacking people in alleyways or something. Anyway. Oh my god! Oh my god! Ah! Already. And we've been shown a hunter. You can very easily tell that's what. Whereas over here, where I guess we're learning the basics of being at a dojo. So, Arimi Tenkon, y'all, don't forget to turn. You riveted by Arimi Tenkon? You know, not gonna lie, I did laugh at this page. This page cracked me up. It's kind of funny. His pose and his face. Mouse on the right page. His little right here. Whereas on this side, we're continuing in the action. We've introduced our hunter, and we're showing what she's doing, and then we close in to get an impression of how she feels about this. Obviously, she's tired and covered in blood. How does Smug Sensei feel about his own power? Good, I guess. We're promising the kids they can do this. I have thoughts, of course, about the dojo scene. More thoughts, but you'll see as we can. We got a little shift. He shows us a sword. Okay. This side, we are introduced to another character. Good work. Bring me back my spear. Got any leads? Whoop. So she takes a spear. So we get a little sense of there's more people. They work together. And then we have this little hint right here of someone else. Over here we have a sword. Some time passes. And children are straining. Riveting. Absolutely. And some of this is just paste, where you can take your concept and condense it. And if it was, okay, this kind of thing right here, you can condense this or put it off. We don't know who she is, so we don't care about how she started. Whereas with Monotone, they're sending us straight into their current life, their current work, and we could see her aspirations later when we are really invested. Immediately, a page turn reveal of this other hunter, shocked that this large thing is still here. And then the suggestion that there's more mystery. Is there more mystery over here? Did you need help? No? No? Oh, okay. She sucks. That's the reveal. So the reveal over here, the larger monsters, or there's a large monster getting past the hunters. Oh, scary. And they don't understand why. On this side, our hunter to be sucks. And you're gonna see she's gonna suck for like 20 pages. So prepare yourselves. But we've got this other story going on, so. So it looks like they're collecting the monster and checking out the casualty. Over here, he's trying to create a sound, which is very risky in manga because we don't have sound. This is visual medium. So it's much easier to show someone creating something physical that we can see. Sound is really tough, but it doesn't matter because you can't do it, so forget that. This is what made me think of these two together. Yes, here we have more apathy bait. No, apathy bait. Nope. Well, it does bait my apathy, but this is supposed to be empathy bait. Empathy bait. Empathy bait only works if you have empathy. I have apathy. So here he runs into a kid and struggles to wake the. Damn, that kid sleeps good. And she sucks more. There are Wendigos too? What? Wendigos! I'm totally sold. And the kid realizes that he's a venator. I keep wanting to say a ventilator because they're definitely ventilating these monsters. But anyway, this is where the Yuuki story. I turned on this at this page. What page are we on? 15? 15 pages in, and I'm already turning on your story. I think this training session will be too much for you, Yuuki. Casting a weapon is even harder spell. So he kicks her out. What? Why would you kick out your student? What the hell? Okay, look. I've been doing martial arts for like 20 years, okay? And I gotta tell you, the people who are absolutely terrible at the beginning are usually the ones that don't quit, and they get amazing. The ones that are good at the beginning, when they're new, they don't bother with it after a while. It's strangely consistent. So the fact that this sensei just gave up and kicked her out kind of makes me angry. But you'll notice we've deviated greatly from the promise from the intro to this story promised. I'm getting so worked up that I don't even know what words are. Okay, so let's continue. You are a Venator. Oh, good. Look at that. I love this panel. Oh my god. So, oh my god, that's exciting and terrifying. Like, looking at this, what has happened. Okay, so girl left the dojo or something. And I guess she got isekai'd? I don't know, she gets hit by a bus for no reason, and now she's in the hospital. Are you feeling empathetic yet? Where is your empathy? And now, in our other comic, more action. The ventilator. The Venator is being chased by this monster that came out of the child. That's freaking gross and terrifying, and I love it. Is this our target? Watch your eyes, bro. You're really good. Don't let yourself down. Watch your capital eyes. But look, she's in the hospital. Because her body attacks itself? We've deviated so far. What has this got to do with yokai? Like, unless she all of a sudden is turning into a yokai, I don't know what this has to do with anything. We love our stories and we get interested in our characters and their backgrounds, but this kind of thing is for you, the writer. You need to stay on task. And don't get me wrong, I've done this too. It's so easy to get distracted. But you gotta stay on task. You're promising us something in the beginning, and you gotta deliver. Because right now, at page 18, I don't know where this story's going. At page 16 on this side, so about the same page. Yeah, so they're both technically on page 16. We're dead on track. Oh my god, we got a monster reveal. That's terrifying. We got a grumpy man reveal. It'll be best to give up. It's lazy. Empathy bait is lazy. Because we don't care. We have apathy. So you gotta do better than that. You gotta really give us a reason to care. We don't care about this. It's just like bullying. Everyone resorts to bullying in manga, and you gotta do better than that. Okay, anyway. Kafka, what was that? Chris, I found the target. So we got some movement in the story. They had suggested a few pages ago. Let's see. So on page 10, they set us up with this idea that they're having trouble finding one. And they found one that's not what they're looking for. So on page 16 or 18, 14, 15, 16, 17, they reveal that this is probably the one they're looking for. So we got a setup and we got a payoff. This is fun. This is how you keep things more interesting. I'm learning here too. This is selfish. I am learning here. Whereas on this other side, it's a thing happens, and then another thing happens, and then a thing happens, and God knows where we are at this point. So she's been kicked out. And she's been told to leave, which is absolutely disgusting. This dojo should burn down. Their sensei should tell them to go do shiko around the mat like 100 times each. You're a dead weight. You're supposed to tell your students to train more. Right? More. You're insignificant. Why don't you do a favor to the world and disappear? A sensei telling their student to end themselves? Where are we in this story? What is even happening? Where are our yokai? I don't want is he a yokai? Is he a demon trying to get children to end themselves? What is this? If you're a sensei telling your students to end themselves, you need to turn your belt in. Like, quit already. Besides, a belt is just holding up your pants, so there you go. It means nothing, apparently. And of course she's sad, because if we had empathy, we would care, but we don't. It's very superficial. It's very targeted, because you're supposed to feel sad when someone is told to suicide themselves and that they're useless. It's telling. We're not being shown. And shown, I'm realizing, is not always visual. You can show with text, too. And if you struggle with that, try writing a short story that's just text. And you have to tell all your visuals with words. And it's hard at first, but it's actually kind of fun after a while. But anyway, let's get back to Kafka. What's our intellectual doing? We found the target, engage immediately, don't let it cause any more havoc. So we're going to try to contain this monster. Look at all this action. Oh my goodness, this hand, sword. Set it up on one side. Set it up on one page and slice. This is probably a spread. cut the arm off, get some action. We'll go for the eyes. But I'm supposed to be scrolling over here too. I'm getting too caught up in this. This is a fun shot. As if you were in the alleyway seeing this happen. Bravo. Whereas we're getting another page of depression. I want to save other people, but everyone is so mean. Someone believe in me. Creator, I forget your name. Oh, what are you? LukiRol? We believe in you. It's okay. And we're not discounting that you're working hard here. We're all here to learn. We're not getting gold on Manga Plus creators, so my whole point here is to figure that out and see how we can all do really well and get someone to get that gold. So, tears on her hand. I guess she's deciding no. And we're on page 21. No yokai. There's no yokai. There's not been any yokai since page 2. You're broken your promise. Yet over here, we've been having monsters and scary things for a minute. So, Monotone is keeping their promise. This is a social contract. Flash! I love their sketchy style. It's growing on me. It's growing on me. I've seen Monotone out and about for a while, so but don't forget they've got a lot more teaching and experience than LukiRol. And my point is to show what you can, where a lot of people start, and then someone who's more further along with a similar material. Well, I'll show them all by studying or something. So she's determined to have them eat their words. It's, you know, general shonen fare if you're not sure why, if you're actually not sure why you like shonen. Because it, you know, makes you want to get back up. I get that. I get that. I get the intention, and it's very noble, but it's not working. And 6 pages ago, I already put this down. Whereas over here, we got some fights. It's like, oh my god, what is happening? What's happening next? We're switching up the shots. I have noticed when I was flicking through stuff yesterday before power went out that a lot of less experienced mangaka will do the same shot over and over and over, a mid-shot. Mid-shot on the side, mid-shot on the front, mid-shot, mid-shot, mid-shot. You notice Monotone is changing it up. We've got a close-up of the sword before we're shoving it through a face. We're doing a distance shot between feet. We had that really cool shot earlier from the alleyway. Wide shot at an angle. This is hilarious. Man, oh, is that the spear? That is so cool. Okay, we're setting up and knocking out again. Setting up the spear, and then we're throwing it, and they're taking advantage of the scroll. This is probably a spread in the book, but... And then we show it hit. Bam, look at that. You know? So now you've got a big spread of a big shot with some movement. Versus just cutting it up and having, you know, close, you know, mid-shot, 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 mid-shot. And indeed, a lot of what has been going on in this page could have been condensed down into panels like this, where you're doing multiple things. We got spear hitting and someone jumping out of the way. We got multiple things going on. Got a training arc. Ghost ink. Some fun ideas. A lot of this is just the execution. Now casting a weapon. More mid-shots. I wonder if these would have been better as a spread or as, like, bigger panel. I don't know. That's okay. Your skills will improve as you do more. Like, seriously, just do more. Make more, think more, read more. There's an effort here to distance the shot. So now we get, now that the monster is dead, we get all their reactions. We get a little humanity in. If it all goes wrong, all the training was for this. No one will find me in this forest, so I'm not... Okay, more bait! I'm not taking the bait. We're apathetic. In fact, a lot of what you've written here, I would recommend internalizing as you develop your character. You know, like all this that they go through, you don't actually need to show us, or you can, or tell us even, as you develop the character, and then you keep this in mind as you write and show them in action what they do, how this background affects them as they work, as they fight. Because we're so deviated, as I keep saying, from the yokai story that this is not about what you told us it was about. Whereas Monotone said this is a story about people fighting monsters, and here we are fighting monsters. This other story, we weren't told that this is a story about a depressed little girl who fucking sucks. She's training hard. All right, everyone, that's a wrap. Let's go home. Roger, Gina, get my spear with you. Okay, so we're getting the spear again, which is funny. I guess that's a reoccurring gag. They hardworking, got their thing. I have a feeling that this is too easy. Yep, here we are. So we get a page or two of this is too easy, and then immediately we're thrust back in again. And this, I suppose, is supposed to be a payoff. He's been working hard and has actually, he's been working hard and has brought forth a weapon. But the build-up didn't give us this payoff. I totally get the intent, but the pacing is slow, and we wouldn't even have gotten here. Oh man. Now, okay, this is a good example. I didn't even get this far when I decided to put these two together. So, in one, we're empathy farming, and it's very surface and a little generic and doesn't cut that deep. Whatever the intention, it doesn't, sorry. But on this side, previously we were shown the little kid. We had a panel or two of like, oh, I'm sleepy, and it was cute and whatever. And for a second, we're like, okay, yeah, cute kid, whatever. Now they bring it back as a punch in the gut, reminding us that the monster came out of that little kid. Mr. Hunter, will you help me? There where mommy and somewhere, where will you take me? And that's kind of terrifying, actually. Tell me, please, it's all weird, and the face is Mr. Hunter, Mr. Hunter, I can't feel my face. My face, itchy, my face. But as a hunter, he knows what he has to do, and we get shown how he feels about it. Now we have some empathy. Now we have some. That was good. Set up, and I'm gonna note that down. I'm taking notes. Set up, pay it off. On the other side, we're trying to do the same thing, but it's not working yet. It's not working. But you have to do bad stories so that you can do good stories. So we're not here to dunk on people. We're just here to look at the work and see where we are. See where they are, see where other people are, see what we can learn. We're show her collapsing. And I can see, this reminds me of, I watch a lot of anime and it touches me and I want, not like that, come on now. And want to express that. It's not a bad idea, it just isn't working. The ingredients aren't working. I guess that's just how the world is. Oh, man, it's rough, isn't it? That is, bro, this is a gut punch. We get more emotion. Like, you can see the emptiness. Oh my god, I know this feeling. I'm old, so I know this feeling. Chris, didn't you say you'd stop smoking? Oh lord, how could you quit smoking with a job like that? Holy moly. Aha, I know, I just feel terrible tonight. We did kill a child, you know. Okay, Monotone. Twist the knife, why don't you? Oh my god. Though it might not be so bad feeling terrible, as these are two people grieving together from something they just did. And this kid is crying alone. You're trying to elicit emotion too directly. Gotta go more stuff, but here we are. I guess she goes back to the dojo to Jerk Sensei. Now, if Jerk Sensei turned out to be a terrible yokai, that would be an interesting twist, but I'm pretty sure that's not gonna happen. This is too straightforward for that. So we've had Monotone. We've had all this action. We're about halfway through, and now we slow it down a little bit. An adjustment in pacing. We slow it down, and we've had all this action, boom, 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 and now we're going to get a little character development. Left to right, I always get. Means watch your capitalize. It means my screws haven't gone loose yet. Good, because it probably will happen in that line of work. You'll always smoke when you're miserable. That's the only downside. Kafka, you know that Wendigo we hunt. Why? Wendigos? Okay. Didn't you have a curse? Call them curses in the beginning? Anyway. I got a follow-up report. Turns out the child came from the ghetto down south. Ghetto? Crazy, isn't it? You know, this kind of stuff leaves me wondering, how did the world end up like that? Did he have any friends or family? What did they think when he disappeared? So we've got a similar emotional farming here as we do on the left, but they waited. We got the gut punches first, and we got to care a little bit about these characters before emotion farming from. I think it's a little depressing. Both of these are supposed to be depressing, okay? I think Dirk Sensei just slammed the door in little girl's face. What a douche. Depressing, but honestly, I think you saved him in a morbid sense. Sure, sure. And then we get a little comic relief when you have something really dark. Well-placed comic relief can be good. Be careful where you place it, because if you hit it at the wrong time, it completely ruins whatever you're doing. But we've slowed things down, we've calmed everything, we've had a little bit of a depressing moment, now we're going to raise it back up by, I can't open this jar. Can anybody open a jar? Give you a little secret. You slam the jar, top down, straight on the floor, it'll open. Tips from short people with small hands. We get a moment of normalcy. We showed that they're not just battle hungry, they're humans too, and it anchors it a little. If your strength is small, do not carry heavy burden. I too am an intellectual. Please, it's too hard. Stop it, you're so annoying. But you're strong, aren't you? Come on, Kafka, be nice to her. It's sad and... oh. Look, it's my mind on a normal day. Okay, what's going on here? We finally... what are we on? Page... okay, so we're halfway through on our other manga. Where are we? So halfway through on Monotone, we've had our monsters, and then we've turned around and brought it back to a little humanity, and we're connecting to the character. Yuuki no Michi has tried to do it in reverse, where we try to empathy farm first, and then show you the monster. And I think it's too late. I think you might have consider flipping this, so you start with the monster. Just throw her in to the crazy moment, so we're right in the action, and just throw her into the situation that you promised, fighting. Maybe she is attacked and saved, and that's why she wants to protect people. It's a little Bakugo, it's a little Midoriya, but it's fine. It works. It works better than being rudderless like this. So now she's scared and has to warn the dojo. I almost think you should have started it right here. So not only do you have Jerk Sensei, but he's cultivated a crappy culture in his dojo where students are like, oh, the worst student is gone, so can we train now? Very disappointing and rude. If you see a dojo like that, leave. Absolutely leave. It'll be terrible. It's toxic. It's terrible for you. You won't learn anything. Attention is spelled wrong. And we were never... okay. We were never told what delicious Yuri is. Monotone did a really good job of setting up concepts, letting us slightly set them aside, and then drawing on them later. Yuri could have been I mean, maybe I missed it in all the boringness. Let me see. Did I miss it? Were we told what Yuri is? Yuri, Yokai. Yuri? Nope. Anybody? Let me know if you spot Yuri. Yuri? Nope. No Yuri. Yuri? Is this Yuri? I don't know. Is it? Yuri? Nope. Yuri? Nope. Yuri? What a missed opportunity. Yuri? Nope. We're looking at sound. No Yuri. Yuri? Nope. No Yuri. Nope. Are you getting tired of me saying it? Nope. Nothing. See, even with her being in the hospital, we could have made that about her Yuri. How your Yuri is low, and therefore you need to go home and rest first. I'm definitely learning, even in my own practice, that it really helps to plan, or pre-write and plan. It's really easy to want, like, we're all artists, we want to just jump straight into it, but trust me, it's a mistake. Still no Yuri. Nope, none, nothing? What about here when she's training? No? Oh, casting weapon? But does she cast a weapon? Why are we told about her casting a weapon? I think she does, but I don't remember. But there's still nothing about delicious Yuri. So, missed opportunity. Use the first part to set things up. So, this is where Kisho Tenketsu comes in. You introduce what the story is about, and where it is, and who, and all that stuff, which you kind of did. Show went totally off the rails. Show is where you tell the story and you set things up. So you let us know what, delicious, where is it? delicious Yuri. You let us know what delicious Yuri is. You let us know what these yokai are and how awful they are and what they do to make it terrifying and why we're training and maybe you don't have to go into details about why this guy's a jerk, but shows that he's a jerk, I guess. A lot of time was spent on not telling us what the story and what we need to know in order to get to 10, which is here's what Monotone is going to do for 10. I think they're still in show. Show is going to be the longest part of your story. Anyway, so Jerk Sensei. So anyway, Jerk Sensei. Wrong screen. Is being challenged by this samurai monster, I guess. No bonus points for creativity. I guess he summons fire. This might have been more fun. This is just my personal opinion. This might have been more fun if it was a bigger panel. He kicked into it, maybe this way. He was kicked into it and then crashed out of it. That might have been fun. But you're expanding beyond panels is a good start. Starting in a good place. Oh god, we need to go back. Where are we? 35. We're about more or less the same. Did he just slammer his own student? What? It wouldn't be surprised me if this sensei grabbed one of the students and put it in front of him as a shield. So there we are. Face in case you can't see it, there's a face in there. And I bet you this is more foreshadowing, because they just show it and then move on, which is kind of fun. So, a human moment, buying groceries, trading off on groceries. Ugh, groceries. You will be plagued by groceries for the rest of your life. So we got more of the sensei being burned to a crisp like he deserves. And the human moment continues, our little break before things ramp up again. Gonna go see a movie, pretty pushy, some emotion. The impressions on this character are surprisingly easy to read. Must be all that silent manga that they do. If you do silent manga, it really forces you to learn how to show and how to tell with images, because you can't use words at all. And it's harder than you think. I think this with the more with the samurai could have been a bigger panel. See, if we hadn't wasted so much time earlier on sympathy farming, we could have used a lot more space to really show what's going on with this monster, really pull us in. And some of it is, skill, but you'll get that with time. Just keep drawing, keep referencing, keep looking at stuff, and you'll improve. I know you will. You got a good start. Boring! Yeah, no shit. Okay, we're at 8 Mart. He's gone to get groceries at 8 Mart. VOH is hoping for Wendigo metamorphosis. Wendigo is probably also waiting for a metamorphosis. Incidents to drop at least to 0.09%. That's not that bad. While our hunters are cleaning the street. My god, I always get stuck with left to right. With the release of the new vaccines, they're hoping to reduce these incidents while these guys clean stuff up. We're over here with this, oh god. Wrong monitor. We're over here with this boring samurai. My goodness. Took a spear through the eye. The spear, and the spear, looking at the page, is really important. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 shots of it. There's been no setup. We've not been foreshadowed this. We've not been shown this kid. We got shown this kid? Wait. Yeah, see, we got shown this kid here, shooting something through him. But again, no foreshadowing, no setup. We spent so much time on the mat and Sensei being a jerk that we didn't set any of this up. So it doesn't feel like a payoff. Surprises surprises pay off only when you, how do I put this? It's like they're coming, but so they're foreshadowed. So it's not that you saw it coming super obviously necessarily, but it feels inevitable. And especially if your reader, oh snap, right before it happens, and they put it together in their own mind, that is really satisfying. So Monotone is continuing with this human moment. I have a feeling they're about to ramp it back up. And Samurai Yokai, I have a question. Why? What is your name? Okay, LukiRol. I have a question. Why? Maybe we'll see this, but I doubt it. Why did you show this crazy monstrosity? Get myself out of the way. Why did you show us this crazy monstrosity only to have your yokai be a samurai armor? Sometimes it's worth writing your story and then changing the beginning to fit what you end up writing later. So this could have been a ghost monster in a samurai outfit or something. I don't know. Slice. That should have been huge. This is a really important panel. Make it a lot bigger. My bigger. Smaller. Okay. Doesn't know how to fight. Well, that's because she's like 9. Oh my god. We are seeking ways to reduce and possibly find a cure to the curse. They started with it being a curse. I assure you, we're one step closer. They're putting out vaccines. This this image makes no sense, but it is actually kind of funny how he's got the bags piled all over him. I'd be curious to know what happened in Monotone's life to make them think of that. Whereas over here, we've just got little girl freaking out because of this monster. Where is her sensei? He was absolutely useless after all that. Little human, I will award you the first move because of your bravery. So, okay. Oh yes, I forgot about this part. So, you'll learn in martial arts that this does not happen. In movies and stuff like that, people take turns because then you get to see everything as the viewer. Oh my god, I'm disappearing. But in reality, everyone is going to attack you all at once. They're not going to warn you. This monster would just try to eat her. But this is not my story, so let's continue. What is wanted here is to show us that she indeed released a weapon. I guess this is key. No, key show 10. So this would be 10, the reveal. I think you should have given this more space. Like this is our payoff. This one panel is our payoff. And with this tiny little thing right here, there's a dagger in his foot. We're on page 45. This is our payoff for all that pain when we get this tiny dagger in a foot in a small panel. Give us a double spread of something amazing that she does if you're going to make us sit through all that. Pay us off for what you're setting up. You haven't set this up. Really? You think you did? You didn't as much as you think? And I don't know. We're trying to get away with it with talking. Little more comic relief with Monotone. And then we finally get a suggestion that we are side. We've got our guess her doing. I can't tell. Wait, doing that or is he doing that? I don't know. I guess we'll find out if we look closer. If you set up the information right instead of just trying to emotion farm, then we don't have to think so hard here. We can just experience it, and we can feel emotion. Like over here, like we've got our comic relief, but we're also seeing this hunter. Now I'm left wondering, like, what is the other shoe? I have actually a sense of dread. Where it's over here, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And you're probably thinking of anime in your mind, which, you know, makes sense. But don't forget, these are 2D, no sound drawings, still shots. This is a... They're not even keyframes. I forget what they're called, but it's the still shot ideas that turn into a storyboard. This is basically, it should be a storyboard. But again, we just got stuff happening. So we've got, I'm guessing, a moment of comic relief. That he's like, not a bad trick, yo. Pulls it out of his foot. Your soul must be delicious. This was not set up. You should have set this up by showing us, you know, these creatures before. This panel is pretty. Again, filling me with dread. Even with a comic relief next to it, it almost makes it worse. She didn't notice. You know, what brings you... Kafka, what brings you here? I just remembered the book I borrowed. I too am an intellectual. Okay, now we have our action, I guess, with the kid and that. This is fun, actually. I'll give you props here. Props where it's due. This idea where you got this flying out and this here. I guess she's going for it. That's really fun. That is a really fun idea. Put that in your back pocket. Keep this idea. You should reuse it again on another story that you do. For reaching for something outside the panel. Here she's been knocked out of the panel. This girl is like 9. What is happening? I love this. Got multiple things in the same panel. I do this myself. I love it. So some of the ingredients here are not bad. It's just how you don't set it up and how you put it together. Let's see. I can't do this anymore because I'm 9, but I must win and protect the professor. The sensei, it's sensei. And everyone else. No, your sensei should be protecting you. Because you're a 9 and you're a beginner. I want to be a hunter that can save everyone. That's fine, but you're 9, so you're not there yet. If I can't keep standing, how will I protect anybody? You have time. You have time. Just survive. I have no faith that your instructor will save you because he's a jerk, but one can only hope. I think we've already had our twist, so it probably won't happen, but maybe. Let's see, are we out of the comic relief yet? So what did you think? I really enjoyed it. I am an intellectual too. Yes, it was really sad. It is very depressing. Sama Desai is depressing. And it's just short stories that this depressed drunkard or whatever he was wrote. So they're having a human moment. I too am an intellectual. We're really deviating from the story, so I really hope the payoff is good, or there's a really good surprise, and that this is building tension for us to expect something, because we already had all that action and horror in the beginning, so we have a reason to anticipate that there will be more. So this delay, as I'm reading it, is building up a little bit of tension, actually. Guess we're still fighting over here. I hope I was useful. Yeah, I know, me too, writer. That's okay. Keep drawing, keep writing, keep doing this. You'll get better. As I pointed out before, Monotone has been doing this for ages. They have had more instruction. They've done all kinds of stuff and had plenty of time to develop their skills and their style. Really showing. This line of work, one can't help having these thoughts every now and again. Yeah, I bet that line of work. You don't have to farm sympathy. We can just, as fellow humans, see what they're going through and be like, yeah, man, that sucks. Whereas this side is a little more cartoonish. Is this the end? It feels warm. It's blurry. What is that? A little aside. Recommend looking up videos of people who survived the 2004 tsunami. Not the one in Japan, the one before that. And see what they say about their... Because so many of them survived and were able to tell their story of thinking they were going to die in this sort of washing machine. And hear what they had to say. It's really... whole lot of, is this it? This is where I meet my doom. I find it fun to listen to what real people say. Because it's easier to connect to, right? This random guy that was on the first page, I think, that has not been foreshadowed or introduced, instead we got Jerk Sensei, is randomly in here. If this was Jerk Sensei, it would be a little more satisfying. Because we spent so much time dealing with him, and not this guy. Deus Ex Machina is not satisfying. It's not entertaining either. Yeah, we got some more pausing over here. They're being depressed. Getting dark. This is starting to drag on a little bit. If this ends this way, I'm gonna be kind of annoyed. Stay a little longer. Hey, we're finally shifting. Okay, so we're doing, I guess this is flashback? And though the curse of the Wendigo plagues our species and continues evermore, let us stand against these tides as pillars for the people. I started noticing, since the formation of the Caulfield Squad 6 months ago, I started noticing a trend. This is suggesting to us that there is more information coming. This might be your 10 section. I'm curious what this reveal is going to be. The shadows of the night, let us take up our torches and march on. Lumon, Hominy. Until today. Oh, I guess that must be their battle cry? I never realized how important it would have been to know. Yeah, oh yeah, this is really going to be. And that hunting attracted so many sad people. Nope, not. What? It's a very manga tactic to just look at something else. Because in Western comics, there's a focus on where you're going, where we're getting to. And in manga, there's more of a where we are, looking around and stuff like that. It's a very subtle difference, but you'd be surprised how much of a difference it makes. Sorry, I'll get back to the Yuuki. If I hadn't gotten here, you would have fought until the end, right? Probably. Honestly, we almost could have come in at the attack and then shown this guy and just cut out all the rest. I would just cut the rest. You acted like a true hunter. Everything will be okay. Do you think it's okay to make a little girl cry like that? He's 9! Wow! That's not bad. We half suspect all the sympathy farming was for this, so that we would feel like, oh yes, the girl is sad. Well, we've all been children. There are children in the world. We understand that it's sad to take the innocence of a child and make them cry, so you don't have to like farm that at the beginning. You can just go straight into it and it's fine. Boom! This should have been a spread. This should have been a spread. If you cut out all the nonsense that you didn't need, you can take the time for the important part. Spread, her reaction. And then there's an orc? Oh, okay. Back to that. Let's see what Monotone's got going on. Yeah. Heavy sigh. Yes, me too, bro. A lot of ventilators seem to have been hurt by Wendigos in the past. But with that in mind, there's one thing about myself that's always bothered me. Hey there. Do I know you? Don't be silly, of course you do. Please be a monster. Oh my god, please. If this is just another girl with a book, I'm gonna scream. Because we were doing so well. Please be a monster. It's... You remember leader? It's me, Anya. We fought for the lambs. We served to cleanse humanity. Which is something they said at the beginning, I think. Not a leader? Huh? Okay. Okay. What's happening? Don't tell me you're... the squad? Kafka squad? I think we've gotten derailed. I really think we've gotten derailed. Monotone, you were doing so good, but we're getting in the weeds, we're getting lost here. I don't know what happened. After everything you've done, how could you... A lot of telling and not a lot of showing. This girl, seriously, this bitch. What is even happening? If there's no chance for reconciliation, at least they're... You know what? They're giving us another nugget, but they didn't reconcile the last nugget. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a boom, 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 like the ending of Lord of the Rings. That for the past 6 years of my life... Oh no, who dis? I will deliver you from your sins by killing you out. What? That's probably the end reveal. I have failed to recall the remaining 13. 13 what? Sins? Or lives? Go. Uh, 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 okay, okay. So, our question we're left with is, who dis? Who dis? Alright, let's go back to the other question. I really think this dragged at the end. I'll be honest, it really started to drag. This grocery gag went on too long. This whatever the hell's going on in the scene went on too long. I would edit that down a bit. But where is the other question? I feel like this wasn't resolved. Was it? The book back? What's the point of this? We're seeking ways to cure the curse. So we're starting into that. Maybe they're setting it up for the longer haul. I don't know. But like they were... Yeah, no, this definitely dragged on too. And didn't... I don't know. Because in Ten and Ketsu, even in one chapter, you want your twist or your reveal, which, you know, this definitely ended on a twist. But then we don't get the end. So we got our 10 twist, probably, that he's a leader or something. I don't know. But then we didn't get the Ketsu, which is bringing what we learned in the beginning together with the twist. Maybe we did, but I feel like a lot of time was wasted with this. Everything after the groceries feels like a waste of time and just a space filler. And kind of ruined it for me, honestly. So I don't know. If I had a rough draft of this, I'd just ask questions like, what is the point of this? What are you trying to say with it? Does it have to be in here? Can we put it somewhere else? Can we save your idea for later? Like, and what's her deal? Does this moment need to be in there too? It felt like it started to go somewhere and then didn't. So I don't know. That was kind of weird. But ended on a pretty good note. So it dragged. You gotta be careful with dragging in the middle. You got a really great, exciting start. Second quarter was kind of exciting too, and then by the third quarter, it just dragged. Careful of dragging and sagging in the middle. Doesn't have to be all action because that's exhausting. Definitely mix it up. Like the mix-up was good, but a lot of that could have been cut and taken straight to this. This scene could be shortened significantly, in my opinion. Redrawn. I made an account so I can give likes. Wait, no. We'll let's finish the first one, and then we'll look at the comments. I was gonna do some other manga, but I'll do that separately. It took longer than I expected. Okay, so we got an orc for some reason. The evil yokai won't hurt you any longer. 58. Oh my god, this took way too long. Who? Why is there an orc now? What? Another case of, like, why don't we have this at the beginning? Why wasn't this at the beginning? Who are you? My name is you. What the hell? This could have been at the beginning! I'm a UK. Who is she? What? What? What is the point? What is the point of this whole thing if then we're gonna end on this? What? That made no sense. That made no sense and was very frustrating. Very frustrating. Especially considering, like, there were corrections and mentors and supporters and, you know? No shade on Luki. You worked hard, you did the thing. We're still gonna give you a like. Oh, I think I already gave him a like. But really, really, in the like writing, do a writing phase. I used to be very against writing. I struggle with it. I'm a pantser. But you still want to get all of that out. Get to your beginning so you can figure out your twist, figure out your ending, and then go back and foreshadow it. So that it's satisfying when you set it up, and then you can also be careful not to let it sag in the middle, like Monotone did. And because it's a redraw, it's obviously an older story, so my guess is they've learned a lot since then. I'm curious to see more of their work. So if it's an older story, that makes sense. They probably got caught up in the moment of, their own gag, and then it just sort of dragged. Don't get caught smelling your own farts, just edit it out. Let's look at the comments. I really like your drawings. Good work, Luki. You did your thing. You put it out there. And do another one. You do more. Okay, I guess there's a second one. And maybe we'll do a part 2. We'll do a part 2 to this because they both have 2. And we'll look at the second one. It's not because I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments, but I'm curious. If you want to see where these two go, click like, let me know. Let's see. Monotone probably has a lot more comments because it's Monotone. Creator comment. Hey, this site's pretty good. Huh. I have my doubts about that. I'm pressing X and probably F in the chat for this. This site is terrible. And it's terrible, and there's probably good things about it being terrible in that they don't algorithmically sort everything. So you can genuinely see what people post. So you can see the terrible stuff. I've noticed there's quite a few poorly drawn newbie mangas where the ideas are good and they just need time to cook. And others that are well rendered and boring. So, well, maybe it's good for Rambo. This is quite an old webcomic. This is a creator comic. Oh, my bad. Sorry, Monotone. This I think this is good for our purposes. This is quite an old webcomic. So as mentioned in the last page, the first chapter is indeed redrawn. That explains some of the writing. So I apologize for any drop of quality after this chapter, as the following pages were drawn a long time ago. Hope you enjoy your ride, and we will indeed check that out in a follow-up video. And I've come across this too. And it made me think of Suyashida, who went back to redo the first chapter of Tokyo Ghoul. And yeah, it was definitely better, but it didn't matter. Reading it and reading the first version, it really actually felt like a waste of time. But just like Monotone, I'm curious to see what the old version looked like, Monotone, where they're going with this, but I did the same thing, and I redrew an entire book. I don't even know if I want to publish it, but I've started putting it up digitally. And it's actually kind of ends up being pointless, right? If your story is good, the art is... Real quick, I wanted to make a little point about this after I read it. Thanks for reading. This is quite an old webcomic, so as I mentioned in the last page, this first chapter is redrawn, so I apologize for any drop in quality after the first chapter, as the following pages were drawn a long time ago. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoy the ride. Be curious to see the original and compare them and see what Monotone has learned. Kind of cool. But that wasn't my point. The point I wanted to make is this happens a lot, and from experience, I can tell you it's a complete waste of time. Unless you're going to do something specific with the story, don't redo it. Write another story. Take the experience and your new set of skills and start over. I had to hit this crossroads. Suyashida redid his first chapter, and I remember reading it, and I have the original too, and I gotta say, although obviously it was better, there was no point. It didn't matter. It didn't change anything, you know? So what is he gonna do? Redraw the entire series over and over and over? No, it's pointless. So resist the urge and draw something new. Okay. I think I've redrawn, and trust me, I redrew my first book at least twice. At least twice. Because once I drew the third volume of Saros years ago, probably like 2019 into 2020, right? 2019. My skills from drawing every day had grown so much since 2015, 2016 that they didn't even look like the same story anymore. So in my art mind, I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I'll just redraw it. How long will it take? A year. It took a year just to bring up the worst images to raise the quality a little bit. If the story had been good, it would have been worth it, but the story is terribly written, so it's not worth it. And then, fast forward to 2025, I redrew it again, because I'm an idiot. And yes, it looks way better, and the writing is a little bit better, but I got to a point where I was like, I think about 6 chapters in, I'm like, am I going to redo this entire thing and try to rewrite the story? Because the main problem is the writing, right? If the writing was great, then it would be worth going back, because your readers are going to have to get through your previous terrible art in order to get to your new better art, right? But if this writing is terrible, like in my case, I can't speak for Monotone specifically, we haven't read their whole story. It's not worth it. We'll spend years and years and years retreading old ground when it's not worth it. I had for years, I couldn't get any feedback on the story, so I was just treading in the dark trying to get it going. Eventually, someone read it and told me it was a slog and it was unreadable. And there's a lot of moments I like about that story, but they're not necessarily wrong. So now I'm working on another story, just writing it first. I want to get to the end and figure it all out before I draw anything. And I may pillage ideas from the old story. You can do that if you have things you like. Where did they go? Where did Yuuki go? Yuuki, come back to us. Hey, Yuuki for Yuuki. Say they wanted to continue the story and came back with some experience and were like, okay, this chapter itself didn't work very well. And you're losing your readers at page 3 or something, or 5 in this case. You do. Sit and think about your story and pull elements from it. Your mind won't forget the good ideas. Trust me, I'm old, I know this. You can throw them back into the soup and bring them back out for a new story. So this idea of a little girl tossed to the side who somehow who is inspired by people saving her, I don't know, and to fight or something. This needs a little bit more cooking, but anyway, you can recook the idea and do a different story. Always keep going forward. Don't go backwards. Trust me, it's a waste of time. You end up stuck in a loop. After years and years on a loop, I finally was forced off of it onto something new, and it was the best. But anyway, I wanted to see the comments too. This is a great start. Can't wait to see more. Paneling is pretty good. Oh, shush, the paneling was great. And the art style allows for a lot of freedom and dynamic scenes. Kafka is gearing up to be an interesting protagonist, and the intro is just great. Well done. Yes, well done. Clap, 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 clap. Loved it. Love your art style. Honestly, good read. I can't wait to see more. Love your messy art sim style as well as paneling. Keep it up. How the hell have you not gotten a golden medal? You know, I would say that there's more to good art for the gold. They're only giving people bronze, occasional maybe a silver. Have we gotten silver yet? The writing in this wasn't the strongest. They probably want more. That sagging third quarter, the sagging third quarter did a lot of detriment, in my opinion. If that was tightened up, Monotone at some point probably has a really good shot at gold. Watch the space. Okay, we're gonna cut this here. I think in the future they have a good shot at gold. So we're gonna keep this on and see if one of us can get gold one of these days. Watch out for the second half of this. We're going to go on and look at chapter 2 and see how these two stories develop. Keep up the hard work, everyone. I believe in you all.